And what do you find? Monopoly prices. One supplier. And you go, oh, they're charging $6 for popcorn, $9 for a beer. You know, that's all. So that's what this question's about, as opposed to the competitive market. And maybe even sort of monopoly with temporary inelastic demand, because many of these events sort of, there's a culture of sort of eating or drinking to go with them. You know, you're supposed to have popcorn, so you're supposed to like have beer and food with a lot of sporting events. But I just made up some numbers, and to go along with this basic idea of monopoly inside, competitive market outside, and part A, outside the stadium, competitive market. What do you do for A? You just set supply equal to demand. That's all. First two, set them equal. Those two equations there, set them equal. And what do you get? You get the answers of Q equals 400, P equals $1.60. That's what you get on filling chalk. And if you just set those two equal, that's what you get. Just first and second equations, solve them for each other, you get those P and Q. Inside the stadium, that's when you have to remember what a monopoly does, which I just erased. But a monopoly sets marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. So the third equation down, that's the marginal cost. But you need to now find the marginal revenue. And so you need to go to the demand function. The demand function is 2 minus Q over 1,000. You would need to multiply that by Q, P times Q, to get total revenue, which would then be 2Q minus Q squared over 1,000. And then you would need to take the derivative of that to get marginal revenue, which would be 2 minus QQ over 1,000. And that would be a marginal revenue. And then you just set it equal to that marginal cost there, the one that's right there. And if you did that, you would find for the monopoly, Q equals 200, and you would find P equals 180. Lower quantity, higher price. Inside. And I should have gotten better, equations that made the price seem higher, but it's not reality. Reality is a lot higher than that. There's a big price hike because why? Because demand's kind of inelastic when you're in there. It's not only you have, you're in there and there's no other choice, and you kind of want some food or drink. C. The government suggests removing the franchise fee to make the inside and the outside prices closer. A franchise fee is a one-time fee. It's part of fixed costs. So let me show you how to look here. It's sort of you have some total revenue, you have total cost, and then you have total variable cost. Essentially, this is taking away this $250, some of the fixed costs. And the firm will not change the quantity at all, and the firm will not change the price at all. They made this decision based on marginal revenue and marginal cost. If you take the franchise fee away from them, you've just given them more profit. You've given them, beforehand you gave them this much profit between here and here. You've given them $250 more profit. So you've essentially reduced government revenue and you haven't solved the problem at all. You've just given the monopolists more profit.
So
now D.
that was kind of a trick because if you recalculate the inside price and quantity, you'd get the same numbers, but they would get more profit.
Profit. You get the same numbers if you bother to recalculate. You get the same numbers, but you get more profit. Yep.
That was a trick.
Well, yeah. A little tricky. But D is not tricky. D is basic sort of difference between monopoly and competition. You get a 30% surge in demand inside the stadium and outside the stadium. And here's what happens outside the stadium. Outside the stadium, you get a 30% surge in demand. Big extra increase in demand. And you remember this model now. Short term, you move from P1 to P2. But it's outside the stadium. It's a competitive market. Everybody sees this extra profit at that price. You get entry. And if it's a reasonably constant cost industry, you get all the way back to the original price. If you think it was an increasing cost industry, the new price might be here. But essentially, you get a reaction. When the price goes up, when there's an increase in demand, in a competitive market, others enter and they bring the price back down. Well, inside the stadium, there's only one supplier. You don't get that reaction inside the stadium. When there's more demand, you just get a higher price. Nobody's allowed to enter. There's just one. And so you don't get that reaction. You just get 30% more demand. The monopolist recalculates the best way to make money, and they charge you a higher price with a little bit higher quantity. So what does it do? It essentially further exacerbates the gap in the long run, because the outside price will stay similar, and the inside price will get even higher. Compare the inside and the outside market for food. If we were allowed to bring outside food in, and in a way we have this experiment, because some places completely allow food in, some places are somewhat more lax, and some places are quite stringent about letting food in. There's nothing complex or tricky about that. It's just, essentially, if you allow food in,